on the cheeseburger.
These 25-ouncer Natty Lights, they always go down. Good the first 12.
Yeah.
That last 13.
Yeah. It's such a good beer to get the biggest possible of. You know what I'm mad about? Didn't the Natty Bo guy, didn't they have him all set up for the Orioles playoffs, and then we just did dick shit the whole fucking time? Like, wasn't Mr. Bo supposed to be up there like winking at us and stuff? Did you see that? They put like LED lights on the sign.
No, was he going to be a later playoff run?
Yeah, he was supposed to be out there. Well, there was nothing for him to celebrate, like really ever. The entire 3 games that we went back to back losses on. So yeah, they redesigned all of Mr. Bo, and yeah, nothing came of it.
They put all their bows into that basket. So I wanted to share something with you guys. Didn't know this, and it's I've been to cookouts, festivals, carnivals, Ravens games, whatever, either large or small or medium-sized social gathering. And sometimes you can get them catered for a larger party. Backyard. I was today years old when I realized that pit beef is localized to Maryland and the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Well,
I just assumed,
you know what? I guess you're kind of informing maybe they just don't need it elsewhere because most other, we're not known for our barbecue. We're known for our seafood. Yeah. So I guess just other places are like, why the fuck would you do pit beef when we've got the best goddamn ribs and brisket in the lands? No point.
I gotcha. I think, one, I guess I was just ignorant to that. And when I got kind of indignant, I doubled down. I was like, no, you're bullshitting me. You're bullshitting me. And then two, it just doesn't seem that unique. You know what I mean? Not saying anyone could do it. It takes time, and you have to have the right equipment and the right hardware and some know-how. But you know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like a something that's staple worthy. But here I am. Next time I go out somewhere else, I'm gonna be like, you know what Maryland's known for? It's pit beef, buddy.
Yeah, well, and you know what? Here's the thing, though. When other people go like, what the fuck is pit beef? And you're like, there might be a reason it hasn't spread. Maybe it's not the most succulent meat preparing method in all the worlds.
I don't know. I would venture to say it might be one of the most succulent meat preparing methods.
But
that meat's always juicy. It's soft.
I guess I'm hearkening over to what I was saying about the barbecue. Is other people are like, we don't do that horse shit because we got better. Like, why would we go to, I don't know, the 5th best method of cooking meat when we've got the top 4 right here? Fuck your pit beef. What is pit beef, by the way, exactly? Like, what's the method of?
Well, it's a certain cut, and they smoke it, right? They just slow smoke it, and they just layer the outside with coarse brown pepper to get that bark and that burn, and then you smoke it so it keeps that juicy inside, no matter how you dice it.
Charcoal fire, yeah.
Charcoal. Okay, so you don't smoke it.
The pit beef is a dish of roast beef prepared over a charcoal fire. Commonly used top round cuts of beef. Cooked roast is sliced thinly and often served on a Kaiser roll, of course. I think that's more the nuance to it, right? Like, everybody's got thin sliced delicious meats around anywhere, but like you go to these barbecue places and you're like, hey, let me get some of that fucking delicious brisket, and they're like, here's a fucking pile of meat on your plate, on your metal tray. Have at it. We were like, you know what? We're going to slice it thinly. We're going to fucking put it on a nice Kaiser roll, which can withstand the beef juices, horseradish, onion. You know what I mean? I think that's really where the nuance of pit beef is. It's not in what the meats. They're just meats. Yeah. It's all about the presentation.
I guess. I see what you're saying, but I do feel like it. I know there's a lot of Marylanders out there that love their pit beef. I've had pit beef. I'm not like over the moon over pit beef. When I went to Texas to visit my cousin a while back, we went to one of the bigger barbecue, well-known barbecue joints out there, where they're so good at what they do that they're like, hey, here's a wooden chair for you to sit in that you'll probably get a splinter in, but we don't care. Why? Because our shit's that good. Oh, here's a school tray we bought off of eBay in bulk because the school was throwing them out. You're going to eat off of it. Why? Because our shit's that good. Hey, you know what your side is? 2 slices of fucking Wonder Bread. Why? Because everything else is so goddamn delicious. You're still going to pay us $30 for that tray.
That's fair.
And then we get, it's so good. We didn't want to make it thick and juicy. We wanted to make it thin and juicy.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I get what you're like. I don't have a side either way. I love all meats. You know what I'm saying? But like, have you been to fucking like a Chaps? That motherfucker. That's literally like one of those fucking plastic garage sheds that you buy from Home Depot and you can put in the back of your like F-250. And they just make meats in it. So it's not like it's some exorbitant, like, it's not like pit beef got some fucking newfangled, like, it's an experience that ups the ante from regular buffalo or, barbecue spot. I think they both treat you like fucking pieces of shit. They're like, hey, go sit on that rock over there and eat these meats, you fucking idiot. Like, you know what I mean? So that's that. They both got that in common. Delicious meats, serve them to me however you want. Serve them to me in juices, on cornbread, on Kaiser rolls, fucking whatever. On my wife's titties. Put them on whatever, man. I don't care. As long as the meats are smoked and juicy and delicious, I'm with it.
Now we're talking. See, I'm a sucker for those sandwiches, and actually, as a matter of fact, because I live a couple blocks, and Alan, you're back a couple blocks from the stadium. There's bars, breweries, and places that have them. If there's times where I'm not tailgating or going to the game, and I'll tell Sarah, like, you know what, I'm going to go over there and pick up 2 sandwiches for us. She's like, yeah, here you go. It's $20. This is what I want on mine.
Or just walking around the tailgates. Like, you got a lot of homemade chefs in their fucking like kitted out fucking school buses grilling meats back there. They serve them sometimes. There's that one joint that's like right on the corner or right by the firehouse. They're like always grilling up meats and just handing out fucking sandwiches and shit. You can pay them like $5 and get a like, hey man, I'll take it.
Yeah,
delicious
but I guess
meats.
I don't disagree with you guys because I'm a sucker for a roadside stand with a good meat sandwich ready to sell to me. I'll stop at that thing every time. It just so happens, though, here in Maryland that meat truck is only pit beef. But if there was some bearded gentleman, shirtless, wearing overalls, and he's like, I got the best Kansas City barbecue done ever tasted, moved up here about 3 weeks ago. You want this or you want this? I'm taking Kansas City fucking Pete's fucking
that's rare.
Meats all day. I mean, I'm going to be like, hey, pit beef, I'm glad. Thanks for the love, but Kansas City Joe over here, he's got my cash today. I apologize, but I don't. I
will say though, I've never having obviously Wikipedia pet beef. I don't know why. I don't know why I would have done that at any point in time. But
now it's in the algorithm.
There's 3 fucking paragraphs, and 2 of them are about the fact that it's from Baltimore.
Wow, God,
like damn. I read you what I read you, right? Like the preparation, and then it said gained national reputation from The Wire. Obviously, the preparation is local specialty in the area around Baltimore. Origin of the specific name pit beef dates to the 1970s on Baltimore's east side along Pulaski Highway, and became popular in the 80s. It's associated with working class neighborhoods around Bethlehem Sparrows Point Shipyard. The German and Jewish food cultures of Baltimore landed it on the Kaiser roll. Obviously, because of the Germans, and tiger sauce was introduced from a German company, apparently. The tiger sauce is also named after the founder's son and a tank destroyer battalion during World War II.
Okay.
And then Chaps Pit Beef is called out in the last line, specifically.
Nice. Wow. Look at that. You hit the high notes. That's the Cliff Notes version of pit beef. I love it.
With pit beef, yeah. So basically, Baltimore, juicy meats, poor shitty bread, fucking horseradish sauce. Eat it. It's delicious.
And again, I hate to be the detractor here, like the odd man out on the pit beef. Sure. I guess my point would just simply be that if it was such a great delicacy, like it would have expanded outside of Baltimore. Somebody moving through Baltimore would have been here and been like, I was in the Mid-Atlantic, and there was a stand, and we had the most delicious succulent sandwich that I've ever had in my entire life. And then you'd have like little pit beef pop-ups. I mean, I'd say a 45, 50-year soak would say it might catch on somewhere else, but it just hasn't.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to recreate some form of barbecue that all started in that Kansas City, Missouri area. And then some areas like Texas, then they compete, man. You've got different barbecue sauces, like starting at like North Carolina all the way down to like Georgia. You've got different methods of cooking from like Texas all the way up through Missouri and Kansas and all that and Oklahoma. Like they all got their own spin on this one thing where it's like Baltimore, that's it.
That's ours. Hey, we were poor and blue collar, and this is all we had to eat to survive and make steel for the rest of the country. So.
There's a really good one. It's the east side of the city. It's behind a strip club.
Yeah, that's Chaps. That's the original Chaps.
Is that what it's? Okay, yeah, I've eaten that before. Oh,
yeah, there's nothing quite like an evening at the Gentleman's Gold Club, or even a late afternoon and a fucking Chaps pit beef to wash it down with, or to fuel you up. You know, and everyone pick your poison.
Well, if you've gotten your eyeballs full of some roast beef, why don't you come on down and get a mouthful?
Boom. That's it. It's for both. It's for both the Gold Club and Chaps pit beef. Yeah. That's the co-commercial.
Michael Jordan had his Wheaties before basketball. You eat that pit beef before you go in that titty club, buddy. That'll get you ready. And we talking about like it was formerly the Island Inn, and it's been like 6 or 7 different things. It's still an establishment down the street from where I grew up.
It's still a building in existence.
It's yeah. And they had out in the parking lot. They set up a tent and pit. You know, it's pit beef, and you get the turkey and you get the ham for those momos. But my mom was out of town. My dad walked me and my brother down. Was like, yeah, let's get some sandwiches, and that I'll get a couple beers and we'll enjoy ourselves. And I think I was 9, 10, had never had horseradish. I said, what is that? And he's like, man, that's good stuff. If you've never had it, give it a try. And no one said, hey, a little dab will do you. So I put it on like it was fucking. I put it on like it was mayonnaise. And bro, do you remember when Roger Rabbit got hurt and his ears spill up and his fucking forehead goes a mile high? That's what young Wesley looked like. I wish to God there had been a recording of it, because my face looked like someone put a fire ant up my asshole. Oh, it was like, woo!
Fucking smell your own brain after that fucking shit. Yeah. They just cleared you out.
And then I was kind of weirdly addicted after that.
That's how it happens.
That's where it all started,
so good.
Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Middle class souls, everyone. Foxman, Allen, and Murr. There's a little history lesson for y'all. Did you know pit beef is native? It's right here in Maryland. Yeah.
I just think I think there's anything. I don't know, why hasn't it gotten famous? Maybe there's like a way to like spread it at least into like the DC metro area or something. You'd think someone would have tried to expand this by now.
It's also not like a sexy kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's. I read you the description. It's straight up poor people food.
Sure, but is technically like a cheesesteak out of Philadelphia, but that's like world renowned, you know? Like it's just like chopped ribeye with like cheese whiz on it on a fucking.
But see, and you mentioned it though, but like that's all they got. They ain't got shit up there. You know what I mean? We got crabs and crab cakes and crab balls and crab dip and crab fucking everything. So like, I think so. Like, if we didn't have crab, maybe we would be a sadder representation on the world map of like delicious things. Like you go through the United States and you're like, oh look, lobster and fucking, whatever, and then it would be Maryland. It would be like pit beef sandwich. It would be sad. Right now we're up because we got crabs. We look good. Yeah. So I think that's really what it is. It might take off. It might have taken off a little more if it was our primary delicacy, but it's not. And it's also poor people food. It's hard. Yeah. Like with barbecue, you could dress it up and be like, see, I smoked it for 24 hours. So that's like $80 a rack of ribs. Like you can fucking make a justification. You can't just be like, yeah, I got this top round from fucking the Giant down the street and fucking sat that baby over some charcoal, sliced it thin. Now here we are. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you can't dress it up nice. Lipstick on a pig, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
a delicious pig though.
I listened to Matthew McConaughey on Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura's podcast, Two Bears, One Cave, and he was talking about making tuna fish, like a tuna sandwich, right? But he went through all the ingredients that he puts in that bad boy. I'm like, damn. Like, you're talking about something that you can literally just make with mayonnaise and tuna. But he could mayonnaise, wasabi.
Ooh.
Yeah, mix the
a lot.
wasabi into the mayo. He's like, here's the big one. Here's the big one. Frozen peas. You ever put frozen peas in there? It gives it a nice little crunch and makes it nice and cold. But here's the thing though, once you put it in the fridge and as it starts to kind of coagulate and those peas thaw out, oh, that's when the flavors start to mix together. You get your red onion chopped up in there. You get your dill, and I
It's too
slice my
much.
dills. My gherkin, is that the pickle? And I
Ooh,
slice 'em up.
gherkins?
Yeah, I slice them up nice and thin. And then there's a company, and they make pickled jalapeno chips that are fried. That gets you your crunch. And then you add your tuna, blend it all together.
That sounds like the fucking tuna fish sandwich of a maniac.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that's fucking insane.
But
It's like a beet- it's like a beet-
I'm a mayonnaise. I'm a mayonnaise and mustard guy, actually, and that's it.
see, I don't like the mustard. But I will say
you
though,
should try it.
but even some of the ingredients he was mentioning, like I'm not a big fan of, but I'm like, oof. I'd give
Other
that
than
a
the
go.
peas, it didn't sound terrible. I like peas too. It just seems like a weird fucking. I don't know.
It
I
does.
don't want like a little flavor gem of fucking dirt in my tuna because that's all peas really taste like. I love peas. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying. I don't know if I'm like. Oh! Look at that delicious fucking earth jet
but that little-
flavor crystal.
That little texture crunch, man. I can dig it. I
That's
get what he's
fair.
saying.
That's from a crunchy standpoint. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
some-
you can take simple foods and you can make them like signature if you just do it right. So I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
this,
yeah.
is, this is a tuna salad or a tuna salad sandwich, or does it matter? Is that what he described?
Well, it's like I guess like canned tuna or like some sort of tuna of the same ilk. I guess he's probably not McConaughey's probably not eating Bumblebee. Just throwing that out there. So yeah, it's probably just that, and then he dresses it up like a maniac.
Yeah. Well, he did. He said like once a month he quote unquote cleans out the fridge and makes his tuna sandwiches. His tuna sandwich mix for his sandwiches. And I imagine McConaughey's like, you know what? Well, what I do is I start in the morning. I swim out about 1.5 miles. I get
Yeah.
down deep and I catch my tuna. And I say, tuna, swim me to shore. And he takes me to shore.
I wish that was like an animated story.
That's a good point.
Yeah, right.
If I was better with electronics, I would do it.
Him just holding on to a tuna as it fucking wiggles him through the sea back to shore. You know what I mean?
The tuna gets there, rips off its own fin, and slices its own neck for
It
him.
slices its own neck. Yeah, so here you go, bud.
And then you smoke it, but sometimes it doesn't stay lit. Oh, see, that's a joke there. All right. And this is I've tried to tell some out of towners this, and it's a not so popular opinion. I'm not saying the seafood in the area is overrated, but hear me out on this, okay? Yes, we have an
I'll play
abundance
it.
of blue crabs. We have an abundance of blue crabs in the Chesapeake Bay. Most of them are shipped in from Carolina and the Gulf, okay? Because the Gulf produces them year round. It's the same brackish water. It's the same crustacean. Okay. They don't have shrimp in the Chesapeake Bay. The clams are pretty good, but I just like, I haven't had a good clam dish in a while. I used to be a big Clams Casino fan. I haven't seen it on a menu in about 20 years. And I won't eat raw clams. The oysters in the Chesapeake Bay are overrated. The only good ones are way down there by in the Virginia outlet. I don't like those big fucking moppy kind of muck water oysters that they have. And then, I mean, I will say the rockfish is phenomenal. That striped bass,
Yeah.
that is there. But you think about like, oh, we're known for our seafood, and I just sat there and rattled off a bunch, and I was like, most of it's kind of.
Yeah.
Now the crab is the crab is the crab. That's the king, not the king crab, but that is the top of the totem pole of that food chain for us. But if you're just looking at it from a larger point of view, sometimes I'm just like,
I think that's the thing though, is like people equate us with seafood, but we ain't seafood. Like I would be like Maine. I'd be like, all right, y'all are seafood. You guys do a bunch of different shit. There's stuff out there. You guys are tuna and fucking
lobster.
We got crabs.
And the good oysters.
Like we are not a seafood state. We're a crab state. Like, you know what I mean? That's our thing.
I would
and
say
it's all the preparation because them jack wagons down in Louisiana, I was on a thread the other day. They were judging us about our preparation, and they were like, "Yeah, what do you guys are overhandling them? We just boil them bad boy." We were like, "What? You boil crabs? You fucking animals!" Like, yeah. So it's really about that's what it's about. It's we unlocked a very niche of a niche.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's where we're at.
You're 100% right with the variety of seafoods that are available. It's the steamin' and it's the Old Bay or the J.O. fucking spice. That's it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
we also get mocked for our Old Bay fucking addiction because I don't know what all is in Old Bay. It's got to have some fine Colombian powder in there as well because like it just seems like anybody from this area is just addicted to that spice. And I've had because like you said, shrimp's not really native to our waters up here anyway. And I remember when I was in the South, like they don't have Old Bay. Like you're getting like lemon and salt and pepper on your shrimp. And it's like, what is? As for me in Maryland, I'm like, what is this shit? Like, this isn't even what. It's not even what shrimp tastes like. And if we're talking about like the creature itself, like the meat, it's overrated. I mean, lobster's overrated. If you like lobster, you just really like butter. I mean, that's really all you're.
That's facts. That's big facts. Well, I'll lean on that. Maybe we're crab people, and that's what makes us so cynical about lobster. But it's trash.
But if you had a crab, if you had a blue crab without Old Bay seasoning on it, you would just say, "Oh, it tastes like lobster, and lobster tastes like trash."
Yeah, I mean, they're all the same creature at the end of the day, right? Like they're just bottom feeders. But my logic is the lobster's anatomically made for eatings. You get what I'm saying? You fucking you stab it through its dome piece, you get rid of half of its carcass, you take its tail, and you're like, give me them fucking sweet cheeks, baby. Like, that's it. It's made for that. The blue crab, like, a human had to figure that out and then open it up and then open it up some more and pick out all the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, just the whole experience. We found our little fucking delicacy, and it's because we get 1/2 ounce of meat out of each living animal that we fucking steam. You know what I mean? And that's where the love is. That's where the delicacy is. It's in that. Nobody fucking give a crap about lobster. Trash.
That's the 1/2 ounce of meat, 3 beers, and a bunch of laughs with their buddies at the table.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Get that corner over there.
Yeah. 4 hours of eating and still being hungry. That's what crabs are about.
I would say it's no different than like those like Louisiana fucking like the bowls,
The
those
crawfish bowls.
crawfish.
And shit.
Yeah. Different.
That's
I've done
their
that.
version.
That's fun.
That's their version of our crab feast, basically.
Those are fun
And
too.
that's even
I've
less
done
meat.
those.
That's like 6 hours of fucking meat eating and still being hungry. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you are like I said, if you do enjoy oysters, I do. In my humble opinion, the only good ones are Connecticut and north. And to be honest, it's north of that. It's up in Prince Edward Island and Canada and the Salt Pond area, Maine. Those are the best ones.
Some cold waters, baby.
Yeah, and what they're eating. So, well, hey, we got a good friend or foe for you folks. We're going to turn back the clock, at least if you're a parent visiting your child at Parents Weekend in college. Murr, what do you got for us?
All right, let me read this news story to you. See if you agree or disagree. It's friend or foe, and it's 10 a.m., and Dad's doing Jell-O shots. Must be Parents Weekend. Fall is the height of Parents Weekend at colleges across the country. While schools might offer campus tours, welcome speeches, mingling with professors, and other wholesome activities, many parents have other plans. They want a party. And in a twist, at least some of their kids are totally cool with it. Quote, they're so excited we're there because it's a different aspect of the parental relationship, said De Leon, 53, of Overton Park, Kansas. Her memory of Parents Weekend at her alma mater, the University of Missouri, was her parents came for lunch, attended the football game, and then they left. Over 9 Parents Weekends across 3 schools, DeLone played beer pong and flip cup. She braved countless filthy toilet paper frat houses, bathrooms. She once held a student's hair while she vomited. Quote, you smile and you roll with it, she said. And it just goes on and on and on with different tales from different parents' weekends. So my friend or foe really comes down to this. Friend or foe, should parents be visiting their kids to party like it's 1999 as part of the parents' weekend and the college experience, or faux, no, you should be down there to witness whether the thousands upon thousands of dollars you're going to be shelling out for an education are worth the weight in gold that diploma is when you set it on the scale. So parents' weekend, should parents be going down to party, or should they be going down to just, vet out the school that their kid has chosen to spend, 10 years of your paychecks on? Wes, I'll start with you.
In my head, I had this as you were going to say that the friend or foe was, should they be getting bombed or blacked out or doing Jello shots at 10 a.m. Because I mean, I'm going to friend this because I experienced it. I witnessed it. I haven't experienced one as a parent, but we used to have a parents' weekend, our fraternity, and what it was designed to do was show our parents that the people that we are associating ourselves with, the people that I am hanging out with on a day-to-day, a week-to-week, a month-to-month basis, and that we're paying money to be in this fraternity, are normal folk. They're nice guys. They're just like you and me. They're commoners. And if mom or dad wants to get a little bit tipsy in the process, so be it. I'll friend it. There were a couple times where parents would just get obliterated, and it was a bit off-putting. Foxy included in one of them, and I wasn't really all that embarrassed because he could handle his shit. It's more so like mom who hasn't really cut loose in about 3 or 4 years, and then 4 or 5 drinks in, she's telling tales of her college days that it's like, ooh, wow, damn, this is before you met the mister. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's like when a daughter finds out that mom knows what the inside of the Delta Chi looks like at the fucking Old Miss. Like, how do you know that? How do you know that, Mom? I know a couple of rooms in there, honey. You know what I mean? It's fucking shit like that. I don't know. I'll friend it. Like, I think, fuck it. Go enjoy yourself. Like, one, if you didn't vet the college before you decided to spend your paychecks for the next 4 years as a parent, well, that's on you. You should have probably done a little campus tour, maybe got a brochure at the very least. You know what I mean? Virtual tour, you could do that. That's a thing. Like that, I would say, like, that makes my decision easy. Like, let them go live their glory days or their not so glory days. It's honestly kind of funny because some of them can't handle it, so they're fucking hammered. You know what I mean? Plus, you do get to put up the facade that your friends, your new friends, aren't hazing you in the basement later that evening. You know what I mean? So like, fuck it. I think it's like a rite of passage for both parent and child, I think.
Yeah, I think you guys might have actually changed my opinion on this, because I was gonna go faux on it, because I just think it's like, it's tacky, it's kind of out of touch. Like, you're the parent, you shouldn't be the friend. But Alan, I think you kind of got me there. Like, you should vet the college when you go to visit it before you you decide on it. That's when you should vet the college. And then Wes, I think you kind of got me on these are the people I'm going to be hanging out with probably for the next 4 years. Get to know them. Like, let's see how they are in their natural habitat. So the only way to get into the natural habitat, the price of admission is 3 Jello shots.
It's Jello shots, yeah, exactly. A
beer bong, and a couple glasses of jungle juice.
Yeah, something like be clear about this too. This was, it wasn't mom and dad show up on a random weekend to hang out and party and see how young, Wesley or whoever else son or daughter is. It was multiple sets of parents came up, so they were mingling amongst people amongst their own age.
Yeah.
We did clean the place up. We made sure the bathrooms were really nice. We
as much as you could,
much as we can. So it wasn't just a complete like, hey, my parents are showing up for the happy hour. What? Yeah, mom and dad are going to be here. They're going to be kicking it. Like it wasn't that. Yeah. And when the event was over, parents left, parents dispersed, and then we partied more. At the traditional style or the garden variety party that we used to have. So there is that. But again, and there were situations where it wasn't just parents' weekends. Like, parents used to come up for graduations when we get down. I remember this really well. There was one set. They weren't modest people, but they weren't exactly your hootenanny hoedown type. And mom got so drunk, and then one of the alumni who was a military police was like, "Hey, if I'm collecting money to pepper spray someone," she was just like, the look in her eyes, like, "Wait, are you fucking kidding me?" Like, yeah, that guy over there's volunteered. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb, but we're going to give him a little bit of money. And she gave him $20, and she drunkenly was like, "I got you, yes." And,
See,
sure enough, hilarity ensued.
Also, they were good. They were always good for a free keg or two. You know what I mean? Like you'd start some like light drinking, and then like one of the dads who knew the deal, but was keeping it low key, would be like, "Hey, you know what, guys? You should go get you guys a keg." And we're like, it's expensive. It's on me. Go get yourself something nice and get yourself like a Yingling keg or something. And be like, "Oh fuck, we're drinking like kings tonight, boys. Let's get down."
They break out the money clip. Like, what do you need?
Yeah. What do you need? How about your kegs up here? And we're like, I don't know, like $60. They're like, "Oh, that's it. Here you go. Get two of them."
You guys need a tap? Yeah.
Yeah, sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was always nice.
I guess for me, my problem is like my parents are the most buttoned up, don't drink, just sticks in the mud. Like they're coming down like, "Oh, how's your academic experience going on today, Andrew?" Like, ugh. Like, and then I would be so like, honestly, Wes, I'll be honest with you. Like, and my dad and your dad knew each other, but if my dad saw your dad at fucking Parents Weekend being the Foxy that I know and love, it would probably be a problem, and I might get pulled right back to old Cecil Tucky Community College.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was always my favorite part of them. Was like, it was normally, so it was in the fall. It was we had pledges almost all the time, and fucking like, it was always like the fun, like, all right, turn the switch off. And like, you'd have pledges, had their parents, and they're like, oh, and they're drinking and smoking cigarettes. And you're just like, oh, I'm going to fucking murder you. Wait till mom and dad go home. Smoking cigarettes. You better fucking love them, motherfucker. You're going to smoke a whole pack tonight.
Backwards.
That was through your nose. That was always the fun part. It was like standing behind like their parents, being like,
yeah.
Like
there was another one. A set of parents came up. A friend. We all know this guy. I'm not going to name names, but they brought up his younger brother, who I think was a junior in high school at the time, and he was in trouble. That's the reason he had to come up with them. They weren't just like, "Hey, you can have the house to yourself for the night." Like, no, fuck that. You're coming up with us. And then the mom and dad, they didn't get loaded, but they got jolly.
Yeah.
And towards the tail end of the night, they were like, "Hey," the old man grabs me. He's like, "Hey, me and the wife are going to go back to the hotel room and get a little drunk and frisky. Can you take care of the boy?" And I was like, "You want your 16-year-old son to hang out with us tonight?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine." So the 16-year-old party, and he blacked out. He barfed all over the place. It was great. It was lovely. It's a coming of age story.
Oh boy. Yeah,
we're gonna get a little frisky. I was like, all right.
The punishment was the punishment was the hangover a bunch of adults gave a 16-year-old.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I assume frisky meant they were gonna share a Whopper and fall asleep.
Yeah, definitely.
This is so good.
That's what happens that deep into marriage. That's frisky. You get fast food and then you pass out on a hotel bed in Western Maryland.
Now you get yourself a nice pit beef sandwich.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But there was Foxy got talking to a dad who was just neurotic as hell in the fraternity, and about 15 minutes in gives me the look, and he's like, "Jesus Christ!" And he's like, "I can't take any more of that bullshit. Hey, any of your friends got any poo poo?" It's like, I gave him the look. I was like, "You want to smoke some dope, don't you?" "All right, yeah, I can help you out." He comes out
got some right here.
Yeah, he comes out of my buddy's bedroom just fucking glassy eyed and sucking down Heineken's like, all right. My mom's like, "I know what you are doing."
God, I've told you the story about your mom coming home and me, Foxy, and Riesel were in the basement.
Oh yeah, so this is Foxy's newly retired, and I'm out of college, so he he decides like, all right, marijuana's back on the table. I'm not, my parenting duties and my parental responsibilities more or less have been tabled. If they need help, I'm here. But I'm doing me now. And he hits up Andrew Murr. He's like, hey, you know, I could say, hey, I think you might know something about this. And yeah, these three are indulging in my parents' basement. What, like 3, 4 in the afternoon?
Yeah, that's about right.
Right.
Whatever time your mom was getting home from work, which is exactly what happened.
Right.
And Alan, where are you? I smell smoke. And I'm like, and I'm giving him like, what we do? And he's like, I don't know. Now I
haven't been caught in so long.
Pretty much. Then he goes, now I remember why this is so much fun. Hold on, I'll be right back. And like half an hour later, and you just hear like hushed, not yelling, but hushed, terse talking back and forth. And then he comes back downstairs and like, are we all right? He's like, I guess. I don't know.
Let's go get a pit beef sandwich up at Lindy's. Yeah. There was another time where, you know the old saying, like your parents, especially when you get your license, your parents say like, listen, no matter what happens, if you need me to pick you, even before your license, when you're going out and stuff like that, if you find yourself in a pickle, in a jam, if the shit's hitting the fan, no questions asked, give me a call. All right, I will come and get you. We'll figure it out. You know, we'll sort out whether or not you're trouble after the fact. Your safety is paramount. And I may have gotten that when I was 15, and then I used it for the first time when I was 24. And the reason was there were two parties going on at a single house, but they were segregated. And one part was the younger brother who was a senior in high school. And then there was a bunch of us inside playing pool, enjoying themselves. So cops show up. So half the party runs into the woods. The other half is like, what's up, man? So they ID us all, and they're convinced that we're up to no good. So they make us pour all of our beer out. And I was teaching high school at the time, and I had a 12 or a St. Pauli girl, which, you know, costs a little bit of money, and it's enjoyable and it's delicious. And pour all that out, and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to be at the end of the driveway, so if anyone pulls out, we're going to pull you over just on suspicion." And I'd had a number of beers, and I was like, "Well, fucking hell! What am I going to sit at my buddy's house, you know, from 11 till 1 in the morning till I sober up and leave? Fuck that!" So I called my parents, and they're like, "What? You want to? All right." We'll be there. And I got the skinny on it, like, because I had him drop us off at a bar. My dad was like,
yeah, naturally.
It was the first time in a long. I wasn't mad. It was just the first time in a long time that I had talked your mother into sharing a joint with me. We were really enjoying ourselves. And then you called of all nights, and I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, man.
You
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I remember that happened when I was down at College Park. We were out back, and there was a keg party. And you got to remember, I started college a little late, so I think I was like 23. And it's like everybody's like, cops, and people are scattering, jumping fences. Here's the funny part. I took 2 steps towards that fence, and I was like,
Hold on.
Wait a second. I turned right around. Cop walking across the backyard started pumping that keg. You got ID? Sure do, officer.
Yeah.
Pulled it out. And he's like, where'd your friends go? I was like, I only know 2 people here, and they're right there and right there. And he's like, well, where's all the rest of your friends go? I was like, I don't know, man. A bunch of people just showed up in the backyard, ran away.
Yeah.
They couldn't do shit about it. They're like, well, if we catch some people that are underage, you're going down for it. And I was like, well, good luck catching them standing here talking to me.
Yeah.
And that was that. He was pissed off and walked away.
Were you there, Wes, at the Halloween crawl that
I was?
They busted up? And a lot like that, Mur. They actually came on in the front door and the back. But I was standing in the living room, like right at the front door. And I was probably one of the first people that they ran into. And again, I was 22 or something at the time. And they walked in and scatter, fucking roaches, fucking just leaving. And I was just like, hello, officer. And he's like, you got ID? I was like, fuck yeah, I do. Here you go. He goes, all right, get the fuck out of here. I was like, all right, well, I'm not leaving. I'm going to go stand out back and drink. But yeah, not a problem. Thank you.
Get the fuck out of this house. Yeah.
Good fucking talk.
Yeah, that I was in the backyard. And I got told not to move, and I was like, I don't think I've moved an inch. I've pulled my keg cup to my mouth.
I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Is this-
yeah. My feet aren't moving, bro. Yeah.
I was
44.
also dressed as Leon Phelps, the ladies' man, from SNL. So yeah, it was a whole
Should've been a
thing.
character.
I had the
Should've
fucking
stayed in
hamburger.
character.
I had the hamburger meat out and shit. It was, yeah, it was good stuff.
Man, I gotta say, I'm a little jealous that because you can do that. The greatest Halloween's just passed. I was thinking about this the other day. We had a radio event where we were having costume contests at one of the bars down in Dewey Beach, and this white guy showed up as Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp
Fiction.
Yes, Pulp Fiction. Perfect.
Jules.
And then the Uma Thurman character, and his girlfriend at the time, they even like had like a syringe like super glued to like her titties.
Yeah, nice.
Oh my god! But no, he got a real wig. Jerry curled it out.
That's
It
amazing.
was he won. And I'm just thinking, no one at that whole thing had any issue with that costume at all whatsoever. And I remember running into this guy like 2 years later. I was like, dude, you remember when you won that costume con? He's like, yeah. I was like, man, you could have been taken out back, tied up, and thrown in the ocean if you did that today. And no one had a problem 2 years before that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one of those crawls. There was a flasher, legitimate. He was just wearing a trench coat with nothing on underneath. Yeah, and they're like, they egged me on. Like, Wes, ask him what he is. I was like, what are you, Inspector Gadget? No, I'm a flasher. And I was like, I saw your dick. Wow.
Fucking dickhead.
These guys from It's
No, I know who that was.
Yeah.
And I know, and I am not surprised by it.
That was the same. Mine was the same costume party where I had solicited for a wheelchair, and this is when I had started shaving my head, and then I just wore a suit and I pretended to be Professor Xavier.
Oh, nice.
But see, here's the thing. It was two birds, one stone for me because I was like, this place is going to be packed, and I'm going to have somewhere to sit all night long. Problem is, a lot of people just thought I was some guy who was
In a
disabled
wheelchair?
in a wheelchair until I got up to go outside to smoke. And they were like, you motherfucker. They were pissed off at me. I was like, it's a costume party. I'm
It's
Professor
a fucking
X.
costume, yeah.
They're like, yeah, but we've been getting out of your way all night. So if I wasn't in a wheelchair, you'd have been standing in my fucking way the whole time? Fuck you.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. That was a good time.
Should have said that's my superpower. When I want to smoke, I can walk.
I can walk.
Watch, you put the cigarette out and fall down. Like, somebody give me my wheelchair.
My legs work for joints.
That needs my medicine. But I say the friends have it for once. A unanimous decision across the board here. Parents' weekend. Parents, go enjoy yourself however you feel comfortable with your kid at college. And that is your friend or foe.
All right, let's go friend or foe to Fun Fact Friday. Let's keep this alliteration rolling. Let's get smarter. Let's, as Miss Doubtfire would say, expand your craniums, or whatever the heck she says. He says. It was on TBS the other day. I caught about an hour of it.
Nice.
Oh, Robin Williams. See, now I'm depressed because now I miss Robin Williams.
I know.
Yeah, man, what are you gonna do? You know,
That's one that makes you sad.
Well,
you should go as Miss Doubtfire next year.
I don't think you can. I think maybe you can now.
Nah,
okay,
you could. You could.
After
I
this
think
past
that was-
election, cross-dressing for funsies is back on the table, baby.
Hey, look, I think for Halloween that's always been okay. It was
Okay.
the brown face that really got you, the black face, you know.
Okay,
But hey,
okay,
like
all
I
right.
said, I white faced. I know that's not racist, or I guess it isn't in the context of society right now. But
Sure.
I mean, I did it, and it was quite fun.
Well, okay, hold on. Worry. We'll get the fun fact Friday here in a second. Okay, let's say I got really built and I got in shape. And okay, again, I shaved my head. I'm bald. What if I did if I drew on like the tattoo on my face with a Sharpie? You got the Tyson fight coming up tomorrow and everything. And I was just like, you know what? I love Mike Tyson. I want to dress up like Mike Tyson for Halloween. Why is that a problem? Like, I'm not making fun of him. I just want to pretend to be him for a.
But see, I think the line is are you brown facing or black facing,
Well,
or
I
are
don't
you
think
just?
this particular complexion would, sell the costume very well.
No, I get you. Like I personally don't have an issue with it, but that's
Who
just me.
does? I guess is the question.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't know who
anybody
has an
does.
issue with that. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get
Yeah.
it. You should be able to be Mike Tyson if you want to be on Halloween.
You know who has an issue with it? Probably white women. Well, certain subsect of white women.
Yeah, I guess
'Cause,
that's
like,
what.
Yeah.
We just got to
I
start
don't
pushing
care.
back. I genuinely think it's just news article writers. I think that's it.
Well, that is keep in mind, and if we haven't learned anything over the last 8 years, is that we are probably the most propagandized population in the fucking face of this planet.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, exactly. Like some
Yeah.
fucking like, bleeding heart millennial was like, you know what's bad? Painting your face brown when you're not.
I also-
and then the world was like, you know what? Yeah, that's a good point. Like now, I would say if you went full shoe polish, fucking 1930s fucking 1920s.
Al
All right.
Jolson,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
with big fucking red lips and shit. Yes, absolutely. That's a non-starter. Can't do that. But if you're just changing your face into a different complexion and then going for a whole character, I don't see what's wrong with that. I do, but I'm okay with it. I think, but I do anything for a gag. Y'all know this. I'll fucking do whatever. So I think that's where it's at. It's for the name of comedy, not for racism.
I think someone needs to stage a Make America Halloween funny again, or I don't know, an appropriation Halloween party where people of color dress like white folks and they paint themselves pale into whatever character they want to be, and then the white folks paint themselves the other way, and then everybody just has fun.
So Kelly and I did have this idea not this past Halloween, but the Halloween before, of having a very small, private-ish party where that is the mandate. Is you have to come in a costume that you wouldn't be able to do anywhere else. You could do it amongst this 20 people that are going to be in this house. You know what I mean? I think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
There's no pictures. We're not taking pictures.
I would throw
Everybody drops their phones at the door.
Yeah, that's right. I would throw a wrench into this and say, the black people draw they write up what costumes they want the white people to be in.
Yeah,
and the
I
white
like this.
for that. See, myself, I'm thinking all right, I want to see a black dude as Stephen Hawking.
Oh, are we talking race swapping?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, could you imagine blackface Stephen Hawking in a wheelchair rolling around any public place?
Well, and I'm saying they have to white face it.
You would just get murdered, I think. Well, yeah, you would. A black guy would have to white face as Stephen Hawking in a wheelchair. Oh God, man!
But you know, the funniest black guy in the room is gonna write down Aunt Jemima and fucking put it in the hat.
Absolutely.
Good luck, folks.
The WB frog. all types of shit.
Oh God.
All right. Well, let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. OMG facts. Brought to you, of course, by our good friend, the Cuckster. You can find the Cuckster on Instagram. And is the Cuckster made the transition to TikTok yet, or is he still in waiting?
Cuckster's buying his time soon, folks, and within the next week or so, Cuckster will be on TikTok.
I think I do think that might be the platform for the Cuckster.
Right.
Some quick hit. And he's already got so much material made. It's going to be a beautiful transition. But for now, find the Cuckster on Instagram. It's Cuckster for life on Instagram. Anything new the Cuckster's up to this week, Wes?
Yeah, Cuckster was asked by one of his tens and tens of friends and followers. The Cuckamaniacs asked, "What's the best meal for post cuck? What's the best enjoyable meal?" And according to the Cuckster, it's Chili's. We talked last week about TGA Fridays dying. Chili's is still up there. The 2-for-1 mixed drink. And apparently, the Cuckster and his wife they mosey around and see what tables have unfinished food.
I've done that before, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We were down in Ocean City. It might even have been our legal counsel's bachelor party weekend. I had limited funds. I was hungover as shit. I'd already eaten my food. I wanted more, and these two kind of hot chicks were like doing the picking around with their fork. I'm like, they only ate one slice of bacon and a piece of toast. There's a full plate of eggs, 2 sticks of fucking sausage. I'm like, and, you know, if I were a younger man and not taken, I would totally make out with either one of those two. Why wouldn't I eat their food? So I went over and grabbed the plate and brought it back to the table.
That's the litmus test. I'd tongue fight them, so therefore I'd eat their eggs and bacon. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good litmus test. Like if you were a single man and these ladies were out at the bar, and you're like, okay, yeah, totally, I'd be lucky to do so. Yeah, I think I can eat their scrap food off their fucking plates.
Gotcha. I said, listen. I don't want to make out with you. I just want to eat the food that you're not going to touch.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah. I just think as a server at, I don't know, 4 or 5 different restaurants, I've eaten food from plates that I've brought back that people have not eaten.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, fries.
Oh yeah, if there's like an untouched chicken tender, oh yeah,
Yeah.
give me that bad boy.
I've told people that I've got kind of a side eye. Like, really? Yeah.
These are the same people that don't think poop's funny, Wes.
Yeah,
100%.
I got you. Yeah.
And people that have never waited tables or like this shit like that, like you just don't get it, man. Especially when you were young and broke and fucking like that was like a part-time gig. You were probably coming from something that was underpaying you, coming to this other thing that underpays you, and you haven't eaten all day. You're like, let me get them scrap fries. I'm a fucking trash monster. Like, fucking I don't care.
But that restaurant that you and I worked at for a minute, to Breezy's, which was
and
just a tick under fine dining, but it was good food.
It was
there were
good
some times
food.
where shit was not touched, like fillets of fish and certain like lamb chops and things like that. I'm just looking around like,
I remember that.
Fuck this.
I had a table that like I always recommended that baby octopus that we had on the menu, and he made like this pomegranate fucking sauce that was just amazing.
Pomegranate chili. Yeah.
And I remember I always recommended it to a table, 1 because it was expensive, and 2 because it was delicious. And this couple got it and they didn't like it, and I was like, oh, all right. Well, yeah, I'll clear this off for you. Walk back. Was like, no, so fucking good. Little baby octopuses.
Just slurping them.
Yeah, delicious. You idiots.
Well, let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you on a Friday. Did you know drinking 2 glasses of wine has the same effect on your body as staying awake for 17 hours?
Good Lord. That makes it sound awful.
It does, and I disagree. I don't know. I mean, like, how many hours are you normally up for a day anyway? 18, 19, 20, 22. I mean, I'm up for 17 hours easy every day. I mean, I only get like 6-7 hours of sleep every night, so it's like I might as well fill that time with a couple glasses of fucking wine, or in my case, a few IPAs.
So I've heard it. They always said red wine helps burn cholesterol. You know that, but so is that the line? 1 glass, 2 glasses, you know your body's damaged. It's damaged goods. You've been up for 17 hours. Ugh.
I'd like to see what that study's done, because I just feel like the U.S. like, I know we've got a Puritan fucking, like, you know, like the way the country was founded. All these fucking the people that Europe didn't want all came here first and diseased our culture with all this prudish fucking nonsense. Just fucking, dude, if you can handle some booze, like there's some nights where, like, what's gotten me the best sleep is a couple glasses of wine.
Oh yeah, that's for damn sure. A little buzz, like fucking. I think my best sleep is oddly specific, and Wes will know this restaurant, but like we'll go to Hirsch's, eat some pasta, have a glass of wine or 2. The Wednesdays are fucking half price bottles of wine. Fucking, I will fucking sleep for 10 hours. I just fucking come home. Just, fucking, that's a carbonara cabernet fucking hibernation right there, buddy. Like, just done.
Let's go back and get frisky.
Yeah, oh, man. Put on SVU reruns and fucking. Good stuff.
Did you know lions sometimes mate up to 40 times a day?
Nice.
Yeah,
Just fuck.
I see. I knew it was double digits. 40. If you were, I would have guessed. I would have said 20 to 30. But
Yeah.
there's a certain cycle when the ladies are ready to roll. And if you're in a single male pride, if you have you rule the roost, yeah, you are. And it's. I've seen documentaries and like that on Animal Planet where they're just, and it's pretty quick. It's like blah, 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 blah. The woman, the female lion usually bites them, and then they roll over and the legitimate the frisky sleeps.
Yeah.
Like 2 glasses of wine sleep. These guys are fucking out. And then
Yeah.
20 minutes later, they're like, oh, my nuts are full again. All right, let's go. Come on. And that's to
Yeah,
ensure pregnancy, right? That's to ensure, that they get the proper seed.
100%. Yeah, that's to make more babies. That's the whole goal. Yeah, no, that's right. Like I remember I think there's a documentary. It's like just follows a lion pride for like 5 episodes, and yeah, my man just makes a deposit, moves on, makes a deposit, moves on, makes a deposit. He's got a harem, so he's just dropping loads.
I'm just wondering though, like, what's okay, this or that? What's better, like 40 one-pump episodes or 40 pump episode? Which would you prefer?
I mean, you're saying if you are the
I think there's
the
just
giver?
more life experience in the multiple loads, instead of one 40-minute load. Does that make sense?
No, not 40 minutes. I'm talking like, because like I've seen the lions go at it. It's like literally
Yeah.
like they get there, they get in,
Yeah.
they get out. Like it's literally like
it's a
tip
purpose.
shaft to nuts and they're done.
Yeah.
And then, or would you rather go shaft like 40 times, 40 pumps, or 41 pumps?
I don't know. 41 pumps just sounds easy,
Yeah, but I feel like then you get like Wes said, you get that. You're tired for like 10 minutes. You got to reload. You got to think about it.
And like, I don't know. You got to think about it like, one of them lion pussies got to be trash, right? So like, what if like, maybe she was out hunting or something, and then that was the last one of the day, and she came back. He was like, man, it's gonna take 2 pumps. I don't got time. I don't got time for this shit. It's trash. That trash pussy. Like, So I don't know what lions think about, but that was just, if I was a lion, I might have those thoughts.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, it's one of them lion pussies have to be trash. That's a sound bite if I've ever heard one. I was going to go on to say,
Am I wrong?
I was going no. I mean, it's law of large numbers.
Statistical, yeah.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, when a new male or males take over a pride, they kill the cubs. The cubs that are like under a year old, in order for the females to then get back into the mood, because nothing gets you back into being jolly and wanting to bump and grind than when your kids are killed.
Yeah. Infanticide is always a good. Ooh, my nipples are hard. All 9 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually, and the females will eat the cubs too.
The men
wanna
will.
waste
The men will kill, like, if like you got old one and then new young buck steps in, takes charge of the pride. He's be like, oh, those are those fucking Jeff's babies. Check this out, Skull Crush, get them out of here. Now bend over, 1 pump. Ooh yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
We're done.
I don't know if they. Maybe they do know. Like I don't know if the cubs are aware that that's not their actual like genetic bloodline. But I think the lions, like, it's almost weird. It's like the elder lion that kills the cubs is like, if I'm going to be killed by a cub, it's going to be my kid. You know what I mean? Like, because those, so maybe that, like, he wants to make sure his genes are in charge of the pride.
Well, that's the thing. Once they get to a certain males, females can stay as long as they want. Once males get to, like, the junior adulthood, they give them the boot. And while they're kind of big enough to possibly either defend themselves or beat. They're just too dumb. They're too dumb to realize that, because all they've known is this guy's king. This guy's numero uno, and they get intimidated. And they venture off. And then then they become scavengers for a hot minute. They just steal food from hyenas and leopards and cheetahs, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? I'm a 41 pump guy. I'm gonna go kill me another lion.
I don't remember whose class it was. I was supposed to say it was like Mr. Feldman's class, maybe. But we watched it at the time. It was brand new, and it was like documentary about like lions and hyenas. And this fucking hyena is running, and the lion takes this fucking swipe at it and breaks its fucking spine in one swipe. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, I mean, it's terrible. That hyena's making noises that ain't so funny at that point. But and it was like
it ain't laughing.
Yeah, it was like the queen hyena too. So all the other ones are like,
Yeah.
and she's like, nah, it's over, baby.
I saw that with a fucking, I don't know what it might have been like a wildebeest, or it was another big fucking animal that like 3 or 4 lions were trying to bring down. And fucking exactly like you said, like I think one of the lady lions like crossed its front, and it got like chucked up in the air from its horns.
And it's a Cape buffalo, yeah.
Yeah, and its spine just snaps, and then like you see the lions just like, oh fuck. All right, I'm dead. They're definitely leaving me here to fucking die. Like, it is what it is. That shit's wild, man. Nature's fucking crazy. That's right. That's exactly right.
Did you know all the matter that makes up the human race can fit into a sugar cube? This is because atoms are mostly empty space. If you crammed all the atoms and all human beings together without any wasted space, they wouldn't be any bigger than a single sugar cube. However, that sugar cube would weigh 5 billion tons.
That'd make one hell of an old fashioned. Yeah, you put that in there. Grind it down, muddle it.
You know what's hilarious about that? I was at the liquor store the other day, and they had like these like little, like I'm talking like quarter size cans, and one of them was an old fashioned. And I was like, I don't know if I've ever had like, and I know that's not like the best whiskey or rye whiskey or whatever, but I'm like, it's pre-made, it's in the can, it's probably like middle of the road, like well mixed, all the ingredients done just right. So I'm like, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna take that home, because I don't think I've ever had an old fashioned. I've had whiskey, I've had rye bourbon and everything, but I don't know if I've ever had a real old fashioned. So I get home, I dump it into a glass. I'm like, all right, here we go, baby. Oh, that's just whiskey. That's just fucking whiskey. Okay, all right. I thought that was something else. I thought it would be like some sort of mixed drink, like you get a whiskey sour, and it's like it's got a bourbon taste to it, but it tastes like a tart, refreshing drink. I'm like, nope, that's just whiskey with some fragrance to it.
I mean, to be fair, that's really all an old fashioned is.
I know. I just didn't know, but I was not in the mood for a glass of just straight whiskey at that time.
No, dude. Now, like when we have our festivities here coming up in the next month or so, we have to have a fucking top notch old fashioned while we're out.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
I think you'll enjoy it.
It just it wasn't like it wasn't what I wanted to.
Not what you were expecting.
Top to bottom, like while finishing the fourth quarter of a football game. Like,
oh no, that's not a fourth quarter drink. That's first quarter drink. Halftime, maybe.
I think that might be 2-minute warning drink for me. At 11 o'clock. Did you know an ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain?
That checks out.
There's dumb bastards. They got good eyesight, though, right?
I mean, their eyes are like bigger than their skulls, honestly. So, I mean, that checks out.
That's not possible, I don't think.
I don't think it is either. But, I mean, actually, I don't know, man. They're birds. Remember that bird? Bird skeletons are basically just air. Fucking, like,
True,
hold on. Maybe not the whole skull, but, like, proportionately, it's fucking kind of crazy. Hold on. Where we got? Ooh. Is he gonna say like that's a big fucking eyeball, bro?
I'd say like 15%. So both eyes, about 30% of the entire head. Plus, then again, you take away the jaw, and then you got a lot more. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, like if we strip all this off, this is just fucking. It's just this and eye sockets. Like that's it.
Dude.
You're not far off.
It looks like Popeye's busted ass cousin. I don't know. It's like if you ever did like draw a dumb animal, there it is, right there.
Oh yeah.
Voila.
Yeah.
Well, they're so dumb. They, the whole phrase like "bury your head in the sand" is they're like "Bop, danger, boop."
Jesus, their eyes are about the size of a billiard ball.
Wow.
By the way.
Oh, fun fact. We'll mix some together here. So the sugar cube humans and then the ostrich eyeball. Apparently, if you took the mass of the sun and the sun turned into a black hole, then it would only be the size of a baseball, but it would still weigh as much as the sun.
Yeah, the mass. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'd make a great old fashioned. Look at that thing. Just muddle that puppy at the bottom of the rocks glass.
Get lost, baby.
Get Greg Louganis to dive into that puppy. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, I watched Interstellar for the first time in a long time the other day. I still, it's a good movie, but that ending is still like. Sometimes I watch it and I'm like rubbing my chin. I'm like, I think I understand the physics behind this, but why does this make sense? Does it make sense? Or is it so smart that it's the dumbest fucking ending of all time? And it's so dumb that you don't want to sound dumb when you say it's dumb because you don't want to pretend you don't understand what's going on. But even if you do understand what's going on, you don't want to say it's dumb because then people think you don't get it. You don't get it. Like, no, I get it. It's just a dumb fucking ending. Like he sits there for fucking eternity, putting in binary into a fucking second hand. Like how many centuries did it take for her to fucking figure that shit out? Bullshit. Still love you,
Murph.
McConaughey.
She was a smart whip,
She was smart, but again, I mean, like, how many ones and zeros does it take to bang out like this ultra complex equation? And then what? You miss a 1 or a 0? Like, what are you gonna do? You fucked the whole thing up.
There was a couple of those circular worlds that they were living on that didn't make it. Think about that,
That's fine.
Before you know it, your kids are hitting 500-foot home runs straight up in the air.
And if that's living, man, just let us die. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I read somewhere that because obviously the sun's going to expand. If we're going to stand any chance, at least for a little bit, because the sun's going to die, if we're still around billions of years from now, doubtful, that you would probably seek salvage. Well, first it would be Mars, because Mars will be warm enough to have carbon and hydrogen and oxygen. But it's actually some of the moons on Saturn and Jupiter.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, look, why couldn't we just build artificial? At that point, if we're that advanced to where we could leave the planet, like, couldn't we just build, like they did, like space taquitos to live inside? Like, what's the difference?
Space taquitos. This is a patented model. This is called the Mer Taquito.
That's right. Taquito 1. We've got an asteroid shower coming in. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other 7-Eleven culinary delights so we can name our other ecosystems.
Now
This is Big Bite 2. Confirming asteroid shower.
Cheeseburger Big Bite.
That's right. Ooh,
Yeah, right.
that's where I'd want to be.
That's where the aristocrats live.
That's right.
That's more of like that was that Matt Damon movie. Damn it, why am I drawing a blank on that?
Elysium?
Yeah, there you go. It's more of like Elysium style. If you live on Cheeseburger Big Bite.
And finally, did you know Steven Spielberg's first film, The Last Gunfight, was 9 minutes long and recorded on 8mm film? It fulfilled the requirement to earn his photography merit badge for the Boy Scouts when he was just 11 years old.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but I remember the specifics of that because I was reading a book. I read a book called Rebel Without a Crew, and it was who wrote, directed, produced El Mariachi. was it Robert Rodriguez?
Yes.
Yeah. So that he made note of that. What you were talking about, just basically, it doesn't require a lot. You know, you have to do a lot more work in order if you're going to do everything for this. But if there's a will, there's a way. And he mentioned Spielberg and what you talked about.
Well, I remember. Okay, well, earlier William's up there, and he's like, he's using whatever the Apple's movie maker thing to like edit all these stupid fucking videos. But he's doing some complicated tasks that I'm very proud of him for. And Maria's like father like son. I'm like, yeah. I was like, she's like, did you do that when you were a kid? I was like, well, it was a little more complicated. And I can remember me and Eli, we had a camcorder, and we would record a couple of things, and then we would play them back on the VHS, and then record the TV screen.
Yeah.
So we had 2 tapes, and that's how we would do all of our edits. And then eventually we'd be able to like condense it down to 1 tape and 1 edit. And it's just. Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. If you don't have anything better, you'll make do with what you got.
Yeah, Rodriguez, in order to get he get funding for the first go round of El Mariachi, he did like a month-long or a 6-week thing for the Food and Drug Administration for testing, human testing. And
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, 6 weeks straight.
Wow.
Yeah. And you had to the thing of it was you had to have a strict diet, and people were like sneaking in food and inevitably getting caught because you'd get caught either because your urine and your fecal matter samples were all getting tested, and once they spotted something that was no bueno, they'd kick you out. He was like, I don't understand why these idiots sneak in a fucking Snickers bar. They're gonna get caught. Someone's in the lab's gonna dig through their poop and find a nut that's yeah.
They're not making El Mariachi, okay? They ain't got as much skin in the game.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, fair enough.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
So tonight, before you go, gentlemen, both of you have seen Idiocracy, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I, it's a great movie, wonderful movie, one of the best documentaries of our lifetime, and. I sometimes I have an issue, not necessarily with the movie, but the fact that human beings are kind of willingly going down that path. You know what I mean? We saw the movie, we've seen the movie, and it's almost as if we have the warning signs. We have the playbook of what not to do. And yet human beings are so stupid that it's fucking happening. And this comes by way of Brazil. 2 influencers drowned after insisting life jackets would, quote, get in the way of their tanning during a boat party. So 2 influencers are dead after refusing to wear life jackets on a speedboat that sank off the Brazilian coast because they didn't want the safety gear to ruin their tan in photos, according to police. Aline Tamara Mariano de Aramin, 37, and Beatriz Tavares de Silva Fiara, 27, ignored pleas to wear their life preservers when an overcrowded boat taking them back to shore from a yacht party capsized in the rough waters of Devil's Throat. That sounds erotic. Along the Ingazu River, according to local reports. So yeah, I mean, and they're beautiful, they're hot, but I guess give us your take on buffoonery at its best.
I just figured by the shape of them titties, they'd have floated all the way to the shore.
And some self-flotation devices. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, good riddance, honestly.
Oh.
like that's what you get. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes, and this stupid prize just happened to be death. So, congratulations, ladies. You're fucking dumb.
And ironically, the Devil's Throat was Beatrice's nickname.
The Devil's Throat.
But okay, were they the only ones that died? Did everybody else live?
It doesn't say here.
Probably because they had their
speedboat
fucking life
captain-
jackets on.
The speedboat captain told police he was ordered to transport the 6 influencers, so it sounds like it was a staged party, despite only having a maximum capacity of 5 passengers, leaving the dense vessel unable to navigate vicious waves that inundated the boat and threw the passengers into choppy waters, police said. Let's see, they tried desperately to save passengers, but the 2 victims refused to wear the life vests on the boat, believing it would impact their photos and tans, according to local reports. Fiara's body was recovered by Brazilian maritime firefighters as it drifted into sea. I guess somewhat. God, hold on. Okay, this fucking I'm gonna say it. This dumb bitch was worried about her tan. Come on, come the fuck on.
Yeah, that
That's
really would have messed. That really would have messed up the scenery, you know.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why are her boobs on her neck though?
Well, then again, she does have quite the tan line, so I see where she was trying to even it out there.
This is just so bad.
Those
aren't even good fake tits.
yeah.
They're terrible, actually.
You get to a point too where it's like, I'm thinking of Wolf of Wall Street when that captain finally is like, yeah, we're fucked. You know, what are you thinking? Like, no, sorry, I'm too rich. Don't want to wear a life jacket. I mean, are you that arrogant? Are you that fucking dumb? Are you that stupid to not realize that the devil's throat presents more than a little bit of chop your fucking credit cards in half. It's dangerous. Jesus. Are we better off without these two broads, or are we going to celebrate their life?
Well, okay. Just in your head, imagine the confrontation. You're a captain. You're getting paid, you know, probably a pretty good wage for this particular excursion. But imagine the conversation you have to have with these two dense chicks about putting on your life jacket. And eventually you're just like, all right, I'll take it to the devil's throat. I don't give two shits. Let's go. And then it's sad that they're dead, but I guarantee that captain's like, told you. I mean, I mean, I've never watched an entire episode of like the Kardashians, but could you imagine bickering with those bitches about something as trivial as putting on a fucking... Yeah, it's just like, all right, fine, fuck you, die. And then they do. Oops.
Yeah, I didn't earn this status or this label, this title, just by dumb luck. Just because I drove a ski-doo and my dad's rich and they called me the captain when I was a kid. You know, I had to learn maritime law and safety precautions and measures, and understanding that the devil's throat presents quite the hawk too, if you will, in the water. So it's just the arrogance for someone to be like, yeah, I'm not putting that on. No, look at these things. Look at these honkers. Look at these lips. Well, the vest doesn't go over your face, ma'am. Nope, not doing it.
I do wonder though, given the lifestyle that people that get titties like that live, is there a material that could be added to the chest to then, you know, circumvent these kinds of disasters?
So you're saying breast implants need to be quasi-life preservers in the event that this might happen?
Because you could pass a law that says, like, any unnecessary medical procedures must have a health and safety benefit to the consumer. And then you make them flotation devices.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
then you can look. Then the boat capsizes, and you can ride Beatrice right on through the devil's throat.
You're about unregulation. How does that work? You ain't you don't have what God's given you. We're gonna make this thing, you know. If an airplane crashes, don't even bother taking up that bottom seat. You're good,
ma'am. You're now 9.5 and seaworthy.
Yeah, how about Botox makes you flame retardant?
Well, yes.
Okay. Crack a few others. What are some other cosmetic augmentations?
Let's see. I mean, okay, like a facelift.
I guess the ass implant. There is a acronym for that. The Brazilian butt lift.
The BBLs. Yeah, they look wild. Especially when you get them done in the Dominican by an unlicensed physician.
Yeah, but they don't really do it. That's what's weird is they don't really do that stuff up here. Like, okay, like there's
they do, but it's wildly expensive, and we have like medical regulations. Like you're only allowed to take like X amount of like fat and relocate it to other places. Where in the Dominican, they're like, "What are you, baby? You got 300-pound belly. We'll take it all of that and put it in your ass, and then we're gonna slap you on a Spirit's airline flight home back to fucking St. Louis like about 4 hours after surgery. You're gonna be fucking great. Everyone's gonna love it. Like fucking that's usually the problem. We do them here. It just takes money and time and regulation. You can't just walk in and be like, give me the Kim Kardashian. But down fucking Dominican, you could be like, give me the Kim Kardashian twice.
But
and they're like, yep.
Here's my argument. Here'll be my argument. And again, this is not the hill I'm dying on. I'm just saying, like, don't we make arguments for other procedures where we're afraid people will go elsewhere to have them done because they'll be more dangerous? So why not allow them to happen here at a more affordable and reasonable price?
Oh, that would make too much sense, buddy. We're built on money.
Good point.
Like, we're not built on fucking philanthropy over here. We're not just giving out BBLs. You got to pay a premium to a plastic surgeon, and fucking that's even with insurance. Yeah. No, we just live in the wrong economic landscape for what you're asking for, Mur.
You think this is nip tuck?
Yeah, what do you think? We're just giving out what? Jesus, socialized medicine? You want BBLs and socialized medicine? Jeez, you're sound real commie right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we're off free BBLs to the flat ass white girls out there who always wanted a donk. You got it. Step on
Mur's
up.
running on a platform of fucking free BBLs in America.
Only for illegal immigrant prisoners.
Nice.
Big chested Becky, sophomore at USC. Always wondered if you wanted a big donk. You got it. Come to Mur's Taquito or whatever the hell it's called.
Taquito 1.
That, folks, wear your life jackets, wear your life preservers. Always make sure that there's enough on board. Have the air horn, the flare gun. What else is a safety measure that's needed when they pull you over? That's another thing too. I want to get to it in a second. What do you need? Like,
you need the throwable one too, I think.
Yeah. Aren't there's a few other? There's a couple. Don't you need like a? Do you need like a navigation device?
No.
I guess it depends upon what waters you're in. But
Yeah.
this is like I found this out the other day, and I was watching. It was like a 19-year-old, a group of mostly 19-year-olds, some 18-year-olds in Florida got pulled over by. I don't know, fucking Clearwater Water Police. That's not what they were called. But the whole thing was like, what did you pull them over for? Boats don't have to have a reason. They can come on board for a safety check whenever they fucking damn well please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what you been drinking?
I think if you're commercial, you have to have a logbook. But if you're
Yes.
But honestly, like if you're just like Joe Schmo, like Fisher guy, I don't. There's not much. Like you do have to have like safety devices. I don't even know if you have to be wearing them. They just have to be on board.
On board, yeah. For everyone on board.
Yeah, and and most of the time, most of the videos I see, like they're usually pretty chill as long as you stop when they say stop, and as long as you're not being shady like when they want to jump aboard.
Right. But my point is the commenters were bitching about probable cause, and you don't have to have probable cause on the water for someone to for an officer of the waters to step on board to do a safety check. Yeah,
and I think that's because
a reason.
And I think that's because like if there's an issue, you're hard to get to. So they want to make sure they don't, if they're already out there and they see you, they're going to come check on you.
Good point.
And then it's like, okay, this one's cool. We probably won't have to fucking fire up the fucking, helicopter today and search for 13 hours.
Yeah. There's also selfishly a part of me that understands and knows, at least for myself, that being out on the water and drinking go hand in hand. That's half the fun.
I know, but I don't know how much they necessarily care about as long as you're not like slurring your words and like they ain't gonna breathalyze you, but it's just like I do think they do like basically a spot check. You got everything you need in case there's a problem? Yes, sir. Can I see it? Yes, sir. How much you had to drink? A couple beers. All right. Be good. And they just water police ain't that fucking commie unless you're being a dick.
Yeah. Or you ramp your boat up onto shore.
Yeah, that too.
Or if you're not wearing your life preservers and your boat's going down. All right, we're gonna save listener comments. We had one. It had to do with the death of TGI Fridays. I could read it to you. Someone's like, there are other restaurants, you know. Mur, by the way, Alan, last week you missed you missed it. Mur was really verklempt about the fact that TGI Fridays has dwindled, has reduced their site by it's like 750% over the last 3 years. It's gone from 1,000 to 400 to like 100 some odd nationwide, and his words were, "What's America doing? What's going on in America?"
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fair.
all right, hold on. If I'm being honest, it was a bait and switch. I wanted people to think I was talking about the election, and then
the elephant in the room. Yeah, no, I understand. I know that.
So, like, didn't we talk about TGI Fridays the week before too? I remember a discussion about pot stickers or something. Fuck, maybe I was a different conversation.
Hey, you just had pot stickers on the mind.
Maybe, I guess so. I was talking about TGI Fridays apps. It's the only reason to go to TGI Fridays.
Yeah. And then Mur, we're not going to get into the comments, but Mur also lambasted me for getting into it, crossing over into Instagram, which I said I wouldn't do with the 9/11 truther.
Oh, nice.
He invited us onto his podcast, by the way.
Oh, let's go.
That guy seemed, I don't want to say reasonable because that's the wrong word, but he at least seemed like willing to listen, but definitely not willing to be persuaded. But no, it was just funny because I was at work, and anytime like the middle class holes like alerts go off, I'm gonna read them, and I'm like confused as shit. Like, what is fucking video? And then I'm like, oh. And then I just imagine, like, Wes, for some reason, smoking a cigarette in a fucking robe, drinking coffee, just stomping away at his fucking keyboard.
I wish.
Building 7 was said to be evacuated 7 hours before the collapse. Look it up. NYPD.
Look at it.
FPD.
The guy used to be, he self-proclaimed former firefighter. And when I told him about this, he goes like, huh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of weird. I mean, it's going to take more than that to persuade me here. It is Instagram, man. Get that? And I was like, you fucking, all right. We'll get on your podcast. And I invite him on to ours. We could see what happens.
They never come.
No.
Well, with the wild card fucking Wild West that's being set up in Washington, D.C. right now, we might get some fucking answers to some shit we weren't prepared for anyway. So we'll see what happens in the next year and a half, 2 years, 3, 4.
Good Lord.
That's right. That cabinet is made up of
it is taking shape.
A dream team made up exclusively of Christian Leitners from the 92 Dream Team. Just heavy hitters. I'm right.
Dude, I got to tell you, like, I'm not hating all of it. There's a couple wild cards in there that I'm like,
there were a couple eye raisers, if you will.
There's some of it that you're just like, all right, well, I mean, he's going to be the ambassador to Israel, and I don't think he thinks Arabs are real, but that's fine, whatever. That's not a big deal. But then you get, like Burr said, you got a couple wild cards in there, and you're like, whoa.
Let's really the real elephant in the room is fucking Matt Gaetz is the fucking attorney.
That's ridiculous. Honestly, I've talked to a couple. I don't think he gets confirmed.
I don't either. And look, like I said, I like a lot of when he the first 2 days I was like, fuck yeah, America. I was down, and then all of a sudden
going that far, but yeah.
Seriously, I liked everybody, and then the Doji, the fucking Department of Government Efficiency.
This is ridiculous.
Well, I don't think that's ridiculous. I like that one.
No, that's okay. But the fact that Elon Musk and fucking, Aziz Ansari fucking run it,
Aziz Ansari,
fucking ridiculous. But look. Can there be some fat trimmed off of this federal government? Sure.
Yes.
I don't disagree. Are Elon Musk and Aziz the guy to do it? Probably not.
Listen, actually, I think they are. Elon, in 24 hours after buying his fucking his dream Twitter account, when it cut 80% of the staff and like literally went to like
Yeah, I get that, but Twitter didn't get better.
it didn't get worse. It got the same, really.
I don't know. It might have got worse.
From your perspective,
it's kind of terrible. Well, no, not even from like a conservative like propaganda. Like, it's just not as interesting. It's like
I disagree. I find myself enjoying it more than I did previously.
Yeah, but you could. It's a tailored bubble to you, and it's your kind of bubble.
No, it's not. Hold on. I don't think it's tailored bubbled to me. I just think it's like even bubbled, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's even bubbled at all. I try to avoid all the people that fucking I don't want to see. And
but
it's
either
still
way,
not even bubbled.
I don't like Gates is just like
my bigger thing with fucking Musk is that my man is in charge of gutting departments that are all investigating his companies. So like they're all under investigation for random shits from multiple departments, and now my man's in charge of cutting the fat at those departments.
This is a much more complicated and serious conversation than we're gonna be able to have right now. But I will say that they didn't like his political persuasion all of a sudden, like in the last year, and they were like, we're going to pull his contracts. And he's like, well, I'm going to save my fucking businesses, so here's what we're going to do. And
we're going to buy the U.S. government and save my businesses? That's not a not a great outcome.
Well, maybe...
It's not ideal. You know who kind of did something like that? Fuck, what was it? It was right around the fall of the Soviet Union.
Okay.
And then what happened after that? We privatized a lot of government. Somebody privatized a lot of government agencies in the new Russian regime. That's all. Just drawing parallels is all I'm doing.
It's a bad parallel. Is it,
or is it identical to how that happened?
We got RFK Jr. as the Secretary of Health and Human Resources.
Oh yeah, fucking brainworms. Great.
All right. We got Pete Hegseth is the
by the way,
Defense.
One of the things I'm pissed off about people with him is they're like, oh, the Fox News commentator or the guy who served in Iraq, Afghanistan, has two Bronze Stars, went to Harvard and Yale, and like, come on.
But he's not a fucking like. We have generals for that. Like,
yeah, but right now.
The guy was like cannon fodder.
He doesn't like the generals.
The guy was cannon fodder and like made it back. I don't know that that's the guy who runs the strongest military in the entire fucking world. But hey, look,
I will say this from Republicans' perspectives, you could put pictures up of certain individuals that are currently serving in some very high positions that make you go, "Whew, okay."
Yeah, but that's just because they didn't fucking cater to the fucking turd. Like, that's the only reason people don't like those generals.
I think it's because, and again, I'll say this, like, I'm not trying to like dunk on anything, but like based on popular vote, electoral college, House and Senate, I think people are kind of tired of some of the political philosophies that have been very pervasive in a lot of these agencies. And I will say maybe they're going a little hard the other direction, but that's how things get corrected. And
hey, man, we'll see.
We got Rubio.
It's either going to work or it's not. We'll find out.
Rubio is Secretary of State.
That's fine.
It's fine. Gates as the Attorney General. The picture that they used for
that's
this,
hilarious.
He looks like a Jim Carrey stunt double from Ace Ventura in the picture that they showed.
I think that's all pictures you'll be able to find. So
yeah. See, that one feels like the most favor. You know what I mean? Like everything else is like, okay, not great, no, but fuck, whatever. And that one was like, all right, man, you're about to get done for kitty diddling. Here you go. And he's like, well,
here's my conspiracy theory perspective behind that is that, okay, if I'm to think that he is a good pick for some reason, because I'm not saying that he is, but I'm saying conspiracy theory here.
I think that's the one thing. Like even conservatives are like, ooh. Yeah.
No, I agree with you that he may not get confirmed because of that.
He will. Like he's very unliked in his own.
Who does the confirming? Who
the Senate?
Who is like
the Senate?
Okay.
The Senate.
And the Senate's the Republicans will have majority, but he's such a squirrely character that it only takes for Republicans to flip, and it's not done.
Yeah.
So
and there are plenty of
this
Republicans
is-
that dislike him.
because
been-
but here's my conspiracy theory. I think he's got a lot of dirt, but because I think he's such a gossip girl, I think he's got a lot of dirt on people that he can. Maybe he won't present it, but he'll be like, "Hey, remember that thing you did? Yeah, I've got documents on that," and make him do his bidding, which is not a good way to govern. Which is why I don't think he's a good pig.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's entirely possible. I think just like the whole party hasn't gone full MAGA. It's just that's how you guys. That's your road, your path to victory. So like some of the more traditional Republicans look at that guy and they're like, "All right, dude, settle the fuck down." Like, yeah, we'll play the game because we got to keep our seats, but we're like not gonna jump as high as Trump says when he says it, and that's Matt Gaetz. So like, I think that's where the disconnect is you still have reasonable Republicans in the party who are like, all right, bud. Like, you don't see Marjorie Taylor Greene sniffing any fucking spot. You know what I mean? Because like they're too much. They're too much.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't govern that way. Like, you still have to
100%
have
agree.
some fucking modicum of like decorum, like and like professionalism, and those two are just batshit crazy. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't think he
Let me
gets
get-
confirmed personally. But go ahead.
It does say that in this. It does confirm, or at least like the a couple quotes in here that says it does not likely to happen. Mike Waltz is the national security advisor. Gabbard as the director of national intelligence.
That's a
let's see
dumb
here.
bitch,
Chris-
but whatever. That's fine.
I disagree with you on that. I just don't.
It's not. It's like I just think she's stupid. But that's just me.
I don't think she's dumb. I like Tulsi Gabbard. I like her a lot.
Yeah, I know. I
Christy
know you like
Noem
all
is
these
the-
people, sir.
I don't like Christy
Christy-
Noem either. I don't like Christy
That's the-
Noem as a pick.
Christy
Oh,
Noem
no.
is the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Well, actually, I was just like for that. I was looking at like I noticed the pictures when they were putting that up, and I was like, "Damn, you have done a lot of work in the last like 4 years on that grill of yours. It like you looked like a 40-something woman, and now you look like a piece of plastic. It's a little
You
weird.
look like you might not wear a life vest in the
Yeah.
devil's throat.
The devil's throat? Yeah.
You look like you're waterproof now. So yeah, hey, yeah, that one's eh.
We've rounded. That's all that I have.
Yeah,
thus
that's
far
all. I think
in
that's
this
all he's
instance.
done so far.
Rounded out. All right.
Yeah. I just don't
Well,
want to
they're
have to
gonna-
hear RFK talk. I don't really care what he does. Like, he can gut some fucking, he can
Look.
do some shit. That's fine. Our food's a mess. Like, go, have at it, buddy. But
Yes.
I just don't
Thank you.
want to hear him talk. Like, that's
You should do it like Kane,
it's
the old Kane.
Like, as long as he has a fucking like a fucking translator to do it. Like, I can't hear that motherfucker on a press conference. Like, I just can't. It's physically impossible for me.
Nah, dude,
But
he
yeah.
should- he should talk. He should talk like the old Kane.
But yeah,
All
we should definitely have Cheerios made out of like 4 ingredients. I'm fine with that. Let's do that.
Yeah, and like if that and listen, the things he talks about, I know he gets like branded as like this crazy man, but like at the end of the day, like you said, if he wants to get
He's
dyes
a
out of
little
food,
crazy, but yeah,
there's some nutty
he's
things
a
in
little
there.
crazy.
But
But, yeah.
if he wants to reduce, like he's talked about like the vaccine schedules and things, like why do babies need a Hep B vaccine? Like, are they having sex and doing intravenous drugs?
Yeah, but see,
Like,
again, that's an uneducated fucking take because you don't understand how Hep B transfers. But continue.
Could be.
listen. After they're born, as long as they're not taking drugs or having like sex with people,
That's not true.
I know. Look, it's an oversimplification because I know that we don't have 40 minutes to fucking debate this shit.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is like, I know how many like William got. I know how many are on the schedule to get. I know how many I got, and I know how many probably you got. And and I don't necessarily trust I think pharmaceutical companies do good jobs, but I also think they pad their books with stuff that's unnecessary as well. And I'd like to have somebody in there with a little more like of a prying eye to say, is this necessary? And I think he's so insane one way that it'll balance out. And there shouldn't be anything controversial about like the most unhealthy country on the planet getting healthy in some capacity, re-educating people on how to lead healthier
Like,
lifestyles.
dude, honestly, see, my bigger issue with all this, like, I'm cool with it. I'm on the other side of like, yeah, let's burn this fucking government down. It's broken. It doesn't fucking work. But the problem is like, My idea of it is take money out of it. And that's not going to happen in this course of action. We're not taking money out of anything. If anything, these corporations will have as much, if not more, influence than they already have currently. I don't see that happening. So that's my biggest concern. Like, I'm with a lot of let's fucking reshape this system because it's broken. But I don't know that this is the direction that's going to reshape it the right way.
You know what? I think we're in agreement on that. I don't know. It needs to be fixed, and maybe by breaking it the wrong way, we'll figure out how to fix it the right way.
That could be it. Yeah.
So either way, I just feel like it's a necessary evil that has to. There's a purge that needs to happen because we've gotten so fucking bloated. But either way, that's not what this podcast is. But I think it's very. I will say this. Very ballsy to go ahead and. I mean, these are picks that wouldn't happen until February under a normal administration, and Homeboy's going to get them done before Thanksgiving. And it's like, wow, like you got to at least be impressed by the efficiency at which he's attacked this.
But I think he already knew that. Like, I think again, his first time he was like, what? Honestly, I think this time he was like, what? Like, but that like. The first time he was still fucking playing the game, and he had fucking, seasoned DC fed the swamp around him, if you will. And so like he was like, all right, well, we're gonna do it this way. This is the concern is that this time he's like, all right, well, we did it wrong last time. Now we're gonna do it this way. Like, and see that, that's the tricky part. Like, again, I'm okay with fixing the fucking shit. Let's take money out of fucking politics. Let's get it squared away. But I don't think this is the regime that takes money out of anything. Other than,
I'll just say this.
Well, they might take money out of stuff, but it ain't going where you want it to go.
I think I'm actually excited that lifelong politicians are freaked out by what he's doing, because them being comfortable by what he's doing, they've always been comfortable with what everybody's done when they get in there. So the fact that they're freaking out, like, what's he doing? Like, hey, guess what? Old guard's dead, baby. Let's see what happens. Let's like I said, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but I like the shake-up, so let's see what comes of it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, that's it.
And how did he? You got it. This is how you know he's a great marketer. It's just for some reason, this is now funny. This is now somehow hip to half the fucking country now. This dance.
No. I mean, it's always been funny, but it sure as shit ain't hip.
But he owns it. That's the beautiful part.
Oh, well, yeah.
The best clip is when he does it after his victory speech, and like Melania, who wants nothing to do with him, wants nothing to do with this presidency, wants nothing to do with anything in that orbit. She stops and looks at him. He looks at her and is like, and then she actually, for once in her fucking evil existence, fucking smiles at him. It's like, fuck you. I know what you're doing. That is funny, though.
You're going to give me 41 pumps later, aren't you? You old bastards. All right. We've taken up enough of your time, folks. Join us again next week on the Middle Class Hall. All right.
I'm not doing it.